Hi guys, it's Kelly and I am super excited to be doing this video today. It is actually for the Snow Dance card kit from Create a Smile. There's lots of wonderful stuff in here. We have the Snow Dance stamp set, some sequins from Pretty Pink Posh, a snowflake die which is like intricate and beautiful, some new chipboards which I love, some enamel dots that are all color coordinated, bunch of beautiful papers. But my favorite part about the papers is the back, because you have all these coordinating colored stripes. It comes in this wave pattern pouch, and then there's also some twine and this awesome stencil, which is like, these are new stencils for us, and it's incredible quality. So I used a landscape die that I had, and I cut a piece of masking paper because, well, if you know me, I'm going to build a scene. So I just marked where that lowest hill was going to be so I could start doing some stamping and masking, building my scene. So I'm going to use the sled. I'm stamping in Memento Tuxedo black ink because it's Copic friendly, and I'm going to color with Copics. So I'm going to stamp that. I didn't bother to mask the blade part of the sled because it's going to be in the white snow, so I knew I wasn't going to have any ink over it. And I just thought it would be super cute to stamp little Rudolph in the sled. I just thought it would be cute. He's already like and when he's upright, he looks almost like he's dancing, hence the Snow Dance name of the kit. But he also looks like he's kind of could be sitting. So I didn't worry about masking his antlers. Again, it's going to be a darker color. I'm not concerned about it. And this cute little Santa is going to go right here. Here's my idea behind the card, okay? I ended up going with the sentiment naughty or nice. And the reason I did is because it just looks like Santa's like, go home, Rudolph, you're drunk. Like that, like that's what I was thinking. So I'm laying down my mask, and I'm laying it up higher because I want to have 2 layers of hills. And I'm going to use some distress ink to get this look. So I'm going in with some tumbled glass, and I'm just kind of putting a little bit here and a little bit there. It's the lightest color, so I kind of went just all over with this one. I wasn't real specific with what I wanted. I just knew I wanted a distinct edge so you would be able to tell that it was a hill of snow. And then the salty ocean, I'm just going to put in 1 or 2 spots. And then the last color I use is evergreen bough. And bow, how do you say that? I feel like it's deck the halls with boughs. It's boughs of holly. Okay, don't mind my terrible singing. Anyway, so I added a little bit of salty ocean. I'm going to add in a little bit of this green, because a lot of the colors in the kit, even though it's very red, white, and blue, there is some teal in there. In some of the papers and in the enamel dots, so I wanted to bring in some of that. And then I just love this stencil so much, I wanted to absolutely incorporate it into my card. So I use repositional adhesive on the back of my stencils, that's why it's not moving. And then I just took the same colors that I just used in the same areas, so it was like tone on tone, and just made that shading a little bit darker so you would be able to see the snowflake stencil down there. And I am using the older style ink blending tool because that's what I have. I actually just the other day bought the mini ones because they were on sale and I needed new foam pieces, and it was cheaper actually to just buy the mini ones and their foam pieces than it was to buy just the foam pieces for the ones I already had. Crazy, right? So that's going to take care of the inking, and then I'm just going to go ahead and peel back, well, the sky part of the inking, and peel back that stencil. Why can't I talk? Does anybody know? Anybody? So anyway, I'm flipping that. I put repositional adhesive on both sides of my mask, and I'm just flipping it over so that I get another look of hills. It's not just the same shape. And I'm just adding some tumbled glass to the very bottom to give me some shading for that back hill. And then it'll look like there's 2 sets, even though we only shaded 1 because of the sky. So then after that's done, I'm going to go ahead and, well, what am I doing? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I felt like they were just like floating in white air there, so I just added a little bit of tumbled glass underneath their feet to ground them. And then I'm going to remove the masks. And again, with my mask, this is just copy paper and monotembo multi-glue. It's repositionable if you let it dry before you stick it on something. So this is how I make all my masks. Just works for me. So if you have the masking paper or post-it notes or whatever, do whatever works for you. So I'm going to get into the Copic coloring, and I love doing distress ink backgrounds or watercolor backgrounds, and then coloring with Copics because it just makes those pop a little bit more with a soft background. So for his skin tones and any of my Copic coloring, I start with the lightest, work out to my darkest, and I'm adding some blush to his cheeks with the R20. And it's just real simple. I'm not working very hard to blend it. I'm kind of letting my colors do it for me. And then I wanted his trim to be white because obviously in a traditional Santa Claus outfit, the beard and the trim is white. So when you're shading white, you just want to add a little bit with some grays. And when you first do it, like this is white on white, it will look gray. But once you start adding in your other colors, it will look white. So I just use C1 and C3 to get that look, and I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. If you feel like you get too heavy with your grays, just go in with your 0 marker and just go over them. So now I'm getting into the reds, and I've been practicing trying to get some texture, some folds with my Copic coloring, so that's what I'm trying to do here. It looks a little weird when you first do it, but as it progresses and you start to get the deeper, darker shading, it does start to look like it's folded in on itself. So just bear with me because right now it's still looking pretty weird. But then once you, like I said, add everything in there and then you go everything once over with your lightest marker, it really just blends it out and makes it look like it's being pulled in by that, like to the top of the hat. So I use the same red. I mean, this is pretty much my go-to red combination. It's R32, R35, R29, and R59. And I feel like that gives me the best look in red. Even though like the shadows are, I guess, a bit darker, but that's the one I like. So then for his jacket, I'm leaving just a sliver of a highlight on the part of the jacket that appears to be on top, because if you shade it in all dark, you start to lose that delineation between one side of the jacket and the other. So that's why I decided to leave just that little bit of sliver, and I'll cover that with my lightest color again to just blend everything in. And then what are we, oh, because he's Rudolph, so he's got to have a red nose. I mean, that just is. You can't color it any other color. And for his, I wanted to leave just a little bit of a highlight right on the top of his nose. I think it would be super cute to do like an illuminated nose where the red is kind of going in rays out and illuminating the area around him. So maybe I'll do that in the future because I think it would be adorable. This I wanted to bring in that blue-green that I had used in the sky, just another way to carry your cards through or carry your colors throughout your design. And so I'm just adding some shading there, and again, lightest to darkest, darkest to lightest. And on his neck and things, Christine already added in like where it would be folded over, so pretty easy to figure out where the shading would go on that portion of it. And just, I didn't really worry necessarily about a light source, but because I left the highlight the way I did on the Santa, that's how I chose my highlight for my little reindeer. This was kind of difficult for me coming up with a color combination for the reindeer because I feel like I use the same browns all the time. So I was mixing it up with a few different colors. This E44 is a little bit new to my collection, and I used it with a Y26, which is actually called gold. But I feel like it worked, pretty well with the E's. And again, I left that highlight on the top just because of the way that I did on Santa Claus's outfit. So the only part where I really took the time to feather was on his head, and that was just because it was a larger area. All the other ones were pretty teeny tiny, so I didn't have to work too hard for it to blend into one another. And then I used the darker, the E47 and the E49, that's what it was, to just go into the darkest parts of him and for his antlers, because they're darker. And then I think the last thing that I did was go in with that same R20 that I used for Santa's cheeks and just give him a little bit of pink in his ears. For the sled, I decided I wanted to do it red, and I originally had planned on doing it just all red and not leaving the trim anything else. At the end of the day, I decided I really didn't like that. So I went back in with when I did my detailing with the white gel pen, and I just covered that right up. Covered it right up. It's that's the joy of the white gel pen. You can pretty much use it to cover up, well, obviously in white, anything that you didn't really like. So sorry I get off the camera a little bit here. This time I was like really into my coloring and I wasn't paying attention to the fact that the camera was rolling. So the last thing I'm going to do is, here's where I went in with the R20. My bad, I jumped the gun. And now we're just going to add some black accents to the sled, like the actual blade portion, and then Santa's shoes. So I was just trying to figure out where that highlight would be to match the rest of everything else I've colored. And really, it's not like life or death or anything. Like, it's fine. Do whatever you're comfortable with. If you want to color something a certain way and the highlights don't match up, nobody's going to notice because you just sent them a beautiful card and they're not going to care. So, yeah, just doing that with the C's, finishing off my lightest color. And then I went in with my white gel pen and I gave him some buttons. And I drew on some little like snowflakes onto his sweater just for some added interest. I felt like it was a lot of just solid color. So I thought it would be cute to give him some little snowflakes on his sweater. And then I also used the white gel pen to add a highlight to Santa's shoes and Rudolph's nose. And then I wanted to add some falling snow as well. Oh, here's where I'm fixing my boo-boo that I didn't really like. So just going to cover that right up with the white, and then when I outline everything with my black gel pen, it'll clean up those edges and you won't even know that I, colored it in. Here is where I'm going to start adding the snow, and just from the top all the way down to the bottom, I just drew, sometimes they were bigger white dots, sometimes I just used the pen to just do little white dots, and I went over everything. I went over them as well because if it was snowing, they would be covered in snow. Add a little bit of shine with clear Wink of Stella, and then this is the Smiling Snowflakes stamp set, and I wanted to use the Naughty or Nice because, like I told you, I was picturing Rudolph as being a little bit of a troublemaker, into some shenanigans, if you will. And so I'm just going to stamp that in some black ink, and I added some Pretty Pink Posh sequins. That was pretty much the whole card panel. The only thing that I did from here is I mounted it on a red card base with some foam adhesive just so that it would pop up and have a little bit of dimension. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys soon. Have a nice week. Bye.